Places like this, we're going to train the next generation of workers to do the jobs that my infrastructure law and our Build Back Better Act.
It's a very pertinent question to ask, how do we build back better?
My words, mark my words. The same goes for my plan to build back better for our people.
Biden calls it Build Back Better.
My Build Back Better plan is going to increase.
Build Back Better.
Look, this Build Back Better plan is also going to.
Building back better.
To do things. Build Back Better plan is going to make a giant difference in your life.
Back better.
You're one of the millions of Americans paying too much for insulin. My Build Back Better plan is going to change that as well.
I would say to build back better.
Hey everybody, it's Everett with Ohio for Freedom, and it is Tuesday, the last day of November. So we are, if I'm not mistaken, 25 days until Christmas. Folks, Biden is totally imploding. I'm going to call it Joplosion. It's a Joplosion. Fake, phony, hypocrite, faux, all of the above. Joe Biden is imploding. Please do not let this Omicron, they can't even get the pronunciation of it straight. It's dead in its tracks. We're not going to spend much time on that. I'll say hi to Robert, hi to Marie. I don't know how Mike joined us before we started. Mike, I hope you're out there. I hope you didn't give up. But folks, listen, we're going to try to fly through some things. I want to get this across today. You got to be encouraged. No, you got to be more than encouraged. You got to be confident, and you got to know that it's done. This dog and pony soldier show is over, folks. It is absolutely over. I want to show you this evening just how fake, just how plagiaristic this Mr. Joe Biden is, the pretender in chief, the temporary help in chief, the plagiarist in chief. So without further ado, I kind of think we need to get in sort of maybe a celebratory kind of mindset here. And so let's just have a party, y'all. This is just a party, and we are just going to celebrate. Oh yeah, celebrate how real and how genuine Mr. Biden is not. Here we go.
To build back better.
Woo!
Damage COVID as we try to build back from this global pandemic.
Joe Biden calls it Build Back Better.
Build Back Better.
Say it, Bill. Come on, Justin.
Do things differently.
Oh, yeah.
Build back better.
We're going to build it back better.
And build it back better.
Say it, Barry.
Start taking all the problems.
Come on, Billy boy.
in education and health and start to build back.
Okay, y'all, I don't even know where to start. So he's trying to get this supposed infrastructure bill passed. We're going to spend some time on that. And yet, when he goes to Minnesota today, and love the state of Minnesota is a beautiful state, and I love their accents. I love accents. My father was from Wisconsin. Oh, yeah, he was. And my mother was from Mississippi. So I kind of tend, to pick up on accents and stuff, and I think they're all beautiful. But he went to the state of Minnesota today, and he's saying, build back better, my build back better plan. Joe, it ain't your build back better plan. It's the Klaus back Schwaber plan. And we all know that. But what's really, really interesting to me is that they've tried to call it an infrastructure plan all this time. And finally, he's let the cat out of the bag, because all he did was refer to it as the Build Back Better plan, the Green New Deal plan, the New World Order plan, the Klaus back Schwaber plan. And everybody knows that. Mr. Biden, you're toast. Mr. Biden, you're in the low 30s of approval. Kakala, you're not even close. You're in the 20s. Nobody wants you. Nobody's ever going to want you. You're more fake and phony than Joe is. But Joe, you are imploding. And by the way, Mr. President, Mr. Real President, oh my goodness sakes, we're ready, man. We're ready to pick up the chores. So I'm going to say hi to my brother. And he's been critiquing me of late and keeping me on my toes. By the way, since my brother Jeff's in the house here, he said that he remembered last year they actually referred to the original COVID-19 as the first variant. I don't remember that, so maybe I stand corrected. But still, if it's a variant, what was the originate anyway? But let's just kind of keep rolling here. Let me bring this up here. I want to see what we got. Okay, so here's just some good news. Biden administration is delaying the federal vaccine mandate. Now, why? Now, I'm going to try. The Office of Management and Budget told some federal agencies and managers they can wait. Now, this is federal, folks. This isn't the private sector. This isn't private employers. This is supposedly the people that move in lockstep with every command that Faux Biden makes. But the Office of Management and Budget told federal agencies and managers, they can wait. Listen to how generous this is. They can wait to terminate or suspend their employees who won't get vaccinated until the holidays are over. Isn't that nice? According to a memo that was sent by the agency on Monday. Okay, but what does that actually mean, folks? It means that they're backing off. It means they're a house of cards. It means there's nothing there. They are afraid, so it's something to celebrate. Now this story, judge blocks Biden's COVID-19 vaccine mandate for federal contractors. Now, these aren't government employees. These are contractors, but the judge is blocking it. Folks, we'd be here all night if we went and went through every story and detailed every incidence of this unconstitutional vaccine mandate being blocked. There's 20 plus attorneys general that have filed court cases against Faux Biden. Folks, what I'm trying to say, it's a house of cards. It is falling apart. Now look at this. Oh man, right when they thought they got a breath of fresh air, right when they thought that they'd be able to turn it around and do it all over again with Omicron COVID cases in South Africa, Omicron's epicenter decline as hysteria rattles global markets. Well, darn it. That doesn't fit the narrative. Now, Faux Biden is supposed to, he said over the weekend or said yesterday, I believe it was, that on Thursday, he would be announcing his plans for how they're going to deal with COVID over the winter. Guess what, Fojo? We don't care. We don't care. We ain't going to do it. We're not going to change our lifestyle. We're not going to go. You are out of gas, pal. Yeah, you killed the Keystone Pipeline, but whether you did that or not has nothing to do with it. You're out of gas. And folks, in a little bit, we're going to show you just how fake and how phony. Now, this may not look like good news to you, but I remember reporting on this almost a year ago with Pfizer CEO saying it'll be just like your annual flu shot. You're going to need your annual COVID booster, your annual COVID shot. Well, today it came out that he was saying, the CEO of Pfizer, that he made that prediction, months ago, but he's more sure than ever. Now, folks, listen, and we're going to hear from some pretty esteemed members of the media calling this kind of trash out. But folks, if left to their own devices, these wicked, evil people, this would never, ever stop. We would, as a global population, surrender all of our individual autonomy, and we would forever give it over to the powers that shouldn't be, that can always mandate that we get the latest jab, the latest this, the latest that. But the reason I wanted to show this to you is because we knew that's where they were going all along. But I want to announce to the CEO of Pfizer, who thinks I'm a criminal because I disagree with him, I think what's more likely to happen, Mr. Pfizer CEO, I think you're going to go to jail. I think you're going to be behind bars. I don't know if they will be kind enough to put you in the same cell or the same wing as Tony Fauci. And so you guys might have to pass notes through willing prison guards there, but I kind of think that's where you're going. I'm really sure that's where Tony's going. I'm going to keep rolling here. Now, I want to play this for you. This is just funny. This is from this press appearance that he did in Minnesota. He's going to do one real creepy thing, and then he's going to say one really stupid thing. Here we go.
They've done not a single thing since then to improve it. It's good. And now it costs $1,000 a month.
Who talks like that? Oh, yeah. When did we ever have a president that leaned into the microphone and whispered? Guess what, pal? You're talking to a national audience. You're not talking into the ear of an 8 or 9 or a 10-year-old with blonde hair and a pretty face and a plaid dress, Joe. You're talking to the global population. You're creepy, but he's not done yet. Let's keep going.
Lowering the cost of child care, elder care, housing, health care, prescription drugs, and meeting the moment of climate change. That's what this plan does.
Yeah.
Frankly, I'm surprised that not a single Republican in Congress has joined us in supporting it.
Now, look how fake and phony he is. Did you hear what he just said? Frankly. And by the way, listen, we're all going to get old someday. I am well on my way. But have you ever heard a president that talks in such a, I'm old enough. And don't ask me how old, but I'm old enough. I'm sensitive, you know what I mean? But like, I grew up with Captain Kangaroo. I know that I saw at least a few episodes of Captain Kang. Please put in the comments if you know who Captain Kangaroo is or was. And every episode, there would be a portion in the episode where Captain Kangaroo would walk over to Grandfather Clock, who was always asleep, and they'd try to wake up Grandfather Clock, and then he'd wake up. And you know, when he would awake, he'd be awake for about like 30 seconds, and then he falls. You know, that's exactly who Joe Biden reminds me of. But anyway, that aside, he just said, I'm so surprised that not a single Republican member of Congress has signed on. Well, he wasn't talking about the 13 rhinos in the House that signed on that need to be out of there like yesterday. He's talking about the Senate. Not one Republican, and I believe that's going to hold. But at this time, if you did a roll call, if you whipped it a little bit, not one Republican is going to vote for this not infrastructure bill. It's the Klausbach-Schwaber bill, and no Republican is backing it. But looky here. Why? Look what he's got on the back of that truck, the bipartisan infrastructure law. It's not law yet, and I don't think it's going to be. Now, if Joe Manchin caves, if that other Democrat senator, Sinema, whoever you pronounce her last name, caves, but even if it temporarily gets by, it's going to be tossed out. That's my personal opinion. But what I want to point out to this audience here is he's got right on his truck that it's bipartisan, and Fojo is so stupid. I guess he left his 3x5 memo card for just a moment, and he's lamenting and whining in a whispery, creepy voice that no Republicans are supporting it. Well, if it's bipartisan, Fojo, why ain't no GOP supporting it? Guys, this guy is just absolutely, absolutely pathetic. So there you go. There you have it. Now, I want to play this because this is from the archives, and this better than ever illustrates how fake, how phony, how plagiaristic Fojo is. Everything that he's doing is from an earpiece, and Obama probably is in his basement, in his sweats, telling him what to say. This is about 2 minutes, and I'm going to let it play.
But this standard is not a measure of how we can evaluate the condition of our society. Cannot measure the health of our children, the quality of our education, the joy of their play.
That the gross national product does not allow for the health of our children, the quality of their education, for the joy of their play.
Wait a second. I thought Biden said that. How did he say it? And then did he go back in a time machine? And Bobby Kennedy must have gone ahead in time and listened to Joe and said, I think that's really, really good. I'm going to use it in my 1968 presidential run. I don't know how that worked, but let's see if there's any more instances of that.
Let us pledge that our generation of Americans will pay any price, bear any burden, accept any challenge, and meet any hardship.
That's really good, Joe.
Secure the blessings of prosperity.
And you're even looking up and looking at people. You forgot how to do that.
We shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe to assure the survival and the success of liberty.
I guess he's got a long time fixation on the Kennedys. Let's see if he does any more plagiarism
And
here.
I started thinking as I was coming over here,
Yeah.
why is it that Joe Biden is the first in his family
Yeah.
ever to go to a university?
We love it when you talk in the third person.
The first Kinnick in 1,000 generations to be able to get the university.
He's got that Joplosion
Why
fever
is it
going.
My wife, who's sitting out there in the audience, is the first in her family to ever go to college.
Why is Glenys the first woman in her family in 1,000 generations to be able to get the university?
No, it's not because they weren't as smart. It's not because they didn't work as hard. It's because they didn't have a platform upon which to stand.
Does anybody really think that they didn't get what we had because they didn't have the talent or the strength or the endurance or the commitment? Of course not. It was because there was no platform.
Folks, we got about one more, but can we just kind of just step back a second? And some of us are, why is this taking so long? Why haven't things, folks, they're turned around. It's done. These guys, listen, the Lord Almighty can say, let there be light, and there is light. He can tell the waters to divide, and it happens. But not so with faux Joe. Not so with the liberal Democrats. They think that they can paint on a truck bipartisan, and it's true. It's not true. They think they can put underneath it law, and it's true, but it's not true. Joe Biden has never uttered an original, authentic thought in public ever. He is completely out of gas. He is over, ladies and gentlemen. But let's stick this just a little bit here. All right, I guess I played the slide out there. So, folks, I want to play this for you in just a moment. Now, this is about 3 minutes. I may not play all of it, but I'm playing this just as an example. Just as an example. This was from a day ago. Might have been just yesterday, but Pete Hegseth, I think I'm pretty close to that. He's going to ask a question and open it up for Lara Logan, who has no agenda. And I think she pretty much is pretty non-biased, but she is going to so accurately describe what is up with this plan, scan, whatever the MIC is. And it is just so accurate. And the reason I wanted to play that this evening is that, folks, the cat is out of the bag. The cows have left the barn. Elvis has left I don't know if that one works or not, but folks, the charade, as Captain Picard would say on the Starship Enterprise, it's over. Please know that. Please be supremely confident. Don't be moved by what you see. Be moved by what you believe. Anyway, let me let Lara take this away.
How to take it into the bigger picture of what we're going into right now. As Omicron is being introduced and you hear people talking about it, Lara, what's your take on where we are and where we're going?
Listen to this.
Well, it's very simple, Pete, right? You just have to look at Africa. They didn't have the death rates from COVID that were predicted. And what is happening over time is that the entire response to COVID and everything that we were told about it from the beginning is being exposed and it's falling apart. The lies are coming apart. And really now there's no justification for putting people out of their jobs or forcing vaccine mandates for a disease that ultimately is very treatable. It's cheap to treat. Medicines are available all over the world, and it has death rates that compare very much to seasonal flu. And so,
can we just stop and savor that for a moment, folks? That is so powerful. Now, I realize this is Fox. Yeah, but they're not saying that on MSN. Who cares what they're saying on MSNBC? Rachel Maddow is leaving MSNBC because she's jumping ship of a sinking ship. How many people in the last 10 days have announced we're getting out of here from the Biden regime administration? Folks, they're dropping like flies. And besides that, Fox has like, what, 5 times the audience? And so for this reporter, for Lara Logan to be saying this on Fox, ladies and gentlemen, this is absolutely huge. It's huge.
In that moment, what you see on Dr. Fauci, this is what people say to me, that he doesn't represent science to them. He represents Joseph Mengele, Dr. Joseph Mengele, the Nazi doctor who did experiments on Jews during the Second World War and in the concentration
I'm getting there,
camps.
Kate.
And I am talking about people all across the world are saying this because the response from COVID, what it has done to countries everywhere, what it has done to civil liberties, the suicide rates, the poverty, it has obliterated economies. The level of suffering that has been created because of this disease is now being seen in the cold light of day, i.e. the truth. And people see that there's no justification for what is being done. So as they're being exposed and the control is slipping away, lo and behold, another variant surfaces.
We got to savor that. As the truth is being exposed, and what you say, the lies are slipping away and the narrative is slipping away. And Kate, we're going to get to your comment here in a moment. And I'm just going to, before, and Evangelist Brett Sainer is in the house. And I got to tell you, brother, we got so many great comments when you joined us, and I hope you'll join us soon. And I really appreciate you tuning in here. But Brett's saying, unless we stand up and unitedly demand accountability and justice for all things from this past election, we will not have a country by 2025. And I saw that comment. I completely agree. And I also 1,000% believe that is exactly what we're going to do. And since I'm here, folks, let me just say this, and I hope I'm speaking for all of you. Listen, President Trump is not going to save the day. He's not. The Supreme Court is not going to save the day. They're not. Now, President Trump, oh, we're ready, Mr. President. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying here. But what I am saying is this, folks, we the people are realizing that the blessing and the providence and the Spirit of God is on us, and we have a part to play, and we have repented for our slumber. We have repented for our apathy. And I see that where's that young lady from Tucson that's weighed in. And here's what I want to say about that. Here I want to say about folks, the good people in Arizona, they're not done. They're working hard. I in my human mind, fleshly timetable, I'd like things done 6 months ago, but it's not stopping. The work is going on. In Wisconsin, criminal charges have been referred. Oh, yeah, but will they take them up? Will they act them? Well, if people stand up and be tough and be strong, they will. And things are happening in Pennsylvania, and things are happening in Georgia. But folks, there's no one sole lone figure riding in on a white horse that's going to wave a sword, and then we can all just go back to being careless and carefree. No. We are waking up to a responsibility here. I want to get back to, I think she's almost done, but then this next gentleman's got some good stuff to say.
And nobody should be surprised by that, because there will be more variants until the end of time. We'll never be free of them.
Well, Will, Joe Biden previously.
Well, didn't we say that for the last couple of nights? If they have their way, there will be more variants. They'll never be done. You'll never be done masking. You'll never be done boosterizing. You'll never be done social distancing. And they'll keep that up long enough. What we were going to talk about tonight, except, we were so blessed with this hilarious press conference. If we stay weak long enough, then Zuckerberg will have his metaverse church up and running, and all of the weak, wimpy people can go to the metaverse church, and so they can live in that fake reality. But folks, I'm here to tell you, I don't think it's going to happen.
He said no mandates, then there were mandates. Today he said we're not going to lock down when asked about it. What part of the track record of how they've handled it?
This guy is so good. I just got to let it play.
Well, none of the track record, including the panic and fear porn over the weekend.
He's
Lara said
that on cable TV.
Exposed. They're also attempting to be exploited. It's the same movie, the same franchise. This is Vin Diesel in Fast and Furious 9. Would-be authoritarians, Dr. Anthony Fauci and Big Pharma, look to run this franchise into the ground because they've got a good thing going. They'd love to bring back all those same policies that you referenced, Pete. Here, something really quickly. Here is how off base all the fear porn is, Pete. It's as likely, and you're right, you pointed it out in your great monologue, that we don't know much about Omicron, but it is as likely
This is great.
that Omicron is a good thing than something we should panic over. Respiratory viruses mutate. That's what they do. And they more often than not an ironclad law, but more often than not mutate into something more benign. And as you pointed out, in South Africa, it sounds very benign, does Omicron.
I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to go back to this slide. And Kate, hang in there because we're going to get there. Look at that. COVID cases in South Africa. And the clip that I played, I believe it was last night, the Dr. I can't pronounce her name right. The lady, the doctor, the lady that first discovered it, she said, we're in the epicenter. They're in the epicenter. Well, guess what? Life in the epicenter of Omicron isn't so bad because cases are going down, and what cases they have, if they're Omicron, according to the doctor that first reported it to WHO, it's very, very, very mild. Why don't we end on a really, really just like good note? I saw the alert early this morning that as the case against Cuomo is going forth, it was released from the attorney general there, I believe, in New York, but text messages about Chris Cuomo, I'm trying to pretend that I'm lifting barbells, and anyway, and he was absolutely running interference, making calls, trying to use his position as an anchor on CNN to bully and whip and just manage the information and the PR and the propaganda strategy for his brother. And guess what? He got busted, and he has been suspended from CNN indefinitely. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Chris. Bye-bye, Biden. Bye, Biden. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Biden. And bye, Chris Cuomo. So, folks, it's an implosion. It's an implosion. It's an absolute implosion. Don't be afraid. Don't be complacent. Don't think it's, your work is done. No, your work is just getting started. And what Evangelist Brett was saying earlier, unless we stand up and force accountability, it's not going to look too good. But I believe we are going to stand up and do just that. So that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please please share. If Facebook won't let you share, then cut and paste the URL and share it that way. Maybe we'll teach you how to do that. I think it would be fitting to just leave on a celebratory note of the originality, the genuineness, the authenticity, the sheer brilliance of this Build Back Better that Biden thought of all by himself.
My plan to build back better.
The terrible damage of COVID as we try to build back from this global pandemic.
Joe Biden calls it Build Back Better.
Build back better.
Building back better.
I missed the woohoo. Here it comes.
We're going to build it back better.
Oh, yeah.
And build it back better.
Start taking all the problems that we created in education and mental health. And
Thanks for tuning in. We're going to have a great show on Thursday, y'all. Good night. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless. Oh, by the way, Lord willing, we're going to have a very special Christmas concert Sunday night at 6 o'clock. I hope you'll tune in. Have a great evening. Thanks, y'all.